What's up, guys? Hey, this is Christian Brindle with Six Figure Medicare Agent. Hope this video finds you doing well. And we're back with another video. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about my experience of hiring a Filipino telemarketer through a custom calling campaign with Lead Heroes, guys. And I've talked a lot about Lead Heroes on this channel. They're routinely a sponsor of my videos. They're obviously a sponsor of this video, but this video is not really designed to push any business to them or anything like that. I just wanted to kind of document and kind of highlight some of my experiences in doing custom calling campaigns with them and having one of their Filipino telemarketers make calls for me in a custom calling campaign, and kind of how it's worked for me and how it's really been helpful for me in my business. If there's anything that I don't have enough of, it's time. And I feel like having somebody make hundreds and hundreds of phone calls for me every single day is actually very, very helpful. It's great if you want to do any live transfer calls. It's great if you want to do any preset appointments, whether it be over the phone or maybe even person, although I've been doing it over the phone. I just think it's more efficient that way. They're, of course, the sponsor for this video, but I just wanted to talk about this, guys, because I feel like there's been a lot of interest in kind of knowing more about Filipino telemarketers and kind of how they can help you in your business. And I think Lead Heroes is the best of the best in terms of actually making that work for you in a proper manner. So without further ado, let's just get right into this video and talk about it. So Lead Heroes, for those of you who don't know, is a company that's owned and operated by my friend, Glenn Shelton, co-host of Taco Tuesday, Let's Talk About Insurance. And Lead Heroes is a company that essentially has a majority of their employees in the Philippines. They specialize in hiring Filipino telemarketers to make calls for people. In the past, when I started working with them last year, I believe all that they were doing was they were using their Filipino telemarketing employees to essentially generate leads for people and then selling those leads per cost, right? A cost per lead, which they still do that. And I think it's actually a great value of the lead, because essentially they're talking to someone, they're pre-qualifying them ahead of time over the phone. No lead is perfect. I really, really want to stress this. No marketing source is perfect. No lead source is perfect. There is no silver bullet. There's no silver arrow with this that essentially can never be broken. It's not perfect, right? And I can tell you this as a customer for them, it's never perfect. Sometimes what you find is when you have a Filipino telemarketer that's actually talking to a prospect, sometimes the language barrier is difficult for the client or saying things like that. Although I typically find that when I listen to the recordings, for the most part, I'd say a majority of them, the caller is very clear, their English is very good, they communicate their message very properly, and they're very well trained. So I feel like that is very good. But you got to keep that into consideration. Like, it's never going to be as good of quality as maybe somebody in the United States calling for you. However, having somebody that's a caller for you in the United States calling, the cost of that versus having someone call for you overseas, the cost is dramatically more in the United States. So for the cost of having somebody call for you here in the United States, you could probably have 3 or 4 Filipinos call for you for the same price, right? So at some point, you have to look at this from volume that can sometimes trump that quality, if you will. Now, I do think they have the best quality possible for any service you're going to find from what I've seen for Filipino telemarketers. This is just somebody that, as a customer of theirs. I wanted to quickly kind of pull this up and talk about what their prices actually look like for the custom calling, and then I'll go over some of my own results. So custom calling, right now what we have on the screen before us is the Lead Heroes website, okay? So what they do is they have you pay per hour. They use one of their callers. They do all the training. You really are hands-off. You don't have to do anything. And the custom calling is called a custom calling campaign because it is very customized to what you want. The caller is calling for you. You can either develop your own script, which is what I did during this past open enrollment period. I had them do a very specific script for me in an area. They can do one state, they can do a specific area, they can do multiple states. Now, one thing you got to keep in mind is, just like any type of lead source, sometimes you'll find that these very large metropolitan areas, like Florida is a good example of this, they're much harder to generate certain types of leads than maybe other areas, right? Maybe a more rural area. So, and I feel like they're really, really good at actually telling me, okay, this area is difficult or this area is tough. I had an agent that was working in my office, and we were trying to do preset scheduled phone appointments for T65 individuals. Well, it was a hard thing to actually generate, to be honest. They had a hard time getting necessarily the volume that I was accustomed to. They did get us appointments, but my agent struggled to really do well with those appointments, and the volume wasn't there in what we've seen in the past. So what we did is we went back to the drawing board and we tweaked it a little bit. We tweaked to the campaign. We added another state to it. That helped. And then what I ended up doing was changing it over altogether to just do Medicare supplement replacement leads, like, people that are probably age 68 to 73 or 75 or something like that, that have Medicare supplement plans already with maybe like a Mutual of Omaha or somebody like that, and they're maybe paying a little bit higher of a price, old Plan Fs, old Plan Gs, things like that. And we were trying to see what we could do about setting preset appointments with the people, trying to lower their rate, which is something you can do all year round. Now that we've made that tweak and made that adjustment, we went from getting just a couple of appointments a week to getting, like this past Friday, I'm recording this on a Saturday. Yesterday on a Friday, they filled up my entire day with appointments. This upcoming Monday, they have scheduled for me a huge amount of appointments, right? Like just a tremendous amount of appointments, an entire day's worth. My whole day looks like it's full. I have my work cut out for me. And what they're doing is they're usually using a Calendly link for me. My personal Calendly link, they're using it to schedule these appointments, to have it just show up on my calendar. I don't have to do a thing, which I think is really, really cool. They can pre-schedule it in a Google Calendar for somebody. They can really custom tailor it to do however you really want them to do it. I requested the Calendly link, and they were very accommodating and to be able to oblige with that. So these are the prices that you see in front of you. So obviously the price goes down if you commit to more hours. So if you do the minimum amount of hours, which is about 80 to 159 hours of calling, that's essentially the hours that their callers will call for you to either generate you leads, generate you live transfers, generate you preset appointments, whatever it is that you want them to do. That's how many hours they're spending doing it. And you pay about $12 per hour for that time period. Now remember, with this video alone, just because you watch this video, you get 10% off any order on their website. So just keep that in mind. You get 10% off all these prices just for watching our video and using our coupon code that's down in the description. So that helps kind of even lower the prices even more. Obviously, the more you commit, the more cost effective it actually gets. So if you do 160 hours to 479 hours, you pay $10 an hour, which is crazy. And then if you do the full amount, which is what I did during AEP, which is 480 hours plus, you pay $8 an hour, which definitely is the best value. In my opinion, I tell people that just want to kind of dip their toes in the water and try out a campaign, do the smaller order first. That's what I did. And then go all in if you like it with this, because you're paying $8 an hour. And if you use our coupon code that gives you 10% off, that lowers it down even more to $7.20 an hour, which is crazy, right? $7.20 an hour for having someone make hundreds of phone calls for you is just absolutely insane. So back to the main screen here. So that's essentially the prices that you're looking at. The whole nice thing about this is Lead Heroes is a huge company, right? Glenn has done a great job of scaling Lead Heroes to the point where they have, I think he told me at one point, and I'm fully ready to be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure he told me at one point they had over 100 employees. So they're a very well-versed organization with great training, great infrastructure to be able to have their callers plugged into an actual system. They're very well trained. They're very well capable of handling a lot of these calls. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for you. You don't have to train your caller. You do not have to really do anything if you don't want to. They will use scripts that they've used that are tried and true that have worked to generate preset appointments or leads. Or you can have them use a script of your own. It is very custom tailored to fit whatever you want them to do. I personally believe that if you're doing preset appointments, it's a great way to do it over the phone if you're doing telesales. If you're trying to do live transfers, unless you're in a call center environment or whether you're in an office with 5 to 10 agents where somebody can always answer the phone, I don't think live transfers are necessarily a great idea for a single individual agent because they might be on the phone doing other things and they might miss the live transfer. It just isn't maybe necessarily as cost effective or as efficient as it could be unless it's a big group of people. I've done very, very well with the preset appointments. So I'm actually going to talk about some of my numbers from this past AEP about how many preset appointments they made for me. So I had to go back actually and look and to see exactly how many appointments they were able to schedule for me during AEP. And really what I can say is when you're doing a custom calling campaign, guys, it is imperative that you stay patient, right? I think you need to try it out for about 90 days before you can really judge it because, like I said earlier in the video, the campaign needs to be tweaked. You need to have a lot of open and honest communication and dialogue with the team at Lead Heroes in order to kind of get exactly what you envision in your campaign to really become reality. That's what I experienced during AEP. So during AEP, I'll kind of give you an example. We started out doing a script where I was trying to do something local in my area here in Utah to where, we would have people come to the house. Now, this was, of course, in the middle of a pandemic. Keep this in mind. We were trying to get people essentially locally to come to the office. And now keep in mind, this is during a pandemic. Or if they didn't want to come to the office, we were trying to get them to schedule a phone appointment. It was just kind of a weird, kind of clunky script. And I just didn't put two and two together that it wouldn't work all that well. And it didn't work that well. The first couple of weeks, it started out very slow. Glenn and I had some open dialogue. We went back to the drawing board. We changed the script up to where we were just doing preset telephone appointments. We changed the script up, changed some of the dialogue, changed some of the wording in the script. And then from there, it was actually working very, very well. I had several days where they were scheduling 6, 7, 8 appointments for me each day in certain weeks, over the course of AEP. So Glenn and I actually did a video in Six Figure Medicare Agent where we talked about the results of the campaign. And if you want to go watch that video where Glenn interviews me about my experience, you can go back and watch that as well. But this was posted on November 26, 2020. At that point in time, I did 372 hours out of my 480 hours of campaign. And they had scheduled 132 preset appointments for me. That was an average of $22.55 per appointment. I can tell you guys this. I probably spent the maximum amount, the $3,840, although I got a little bit of a discount because of my Six Figure Medicare Agent discount that you guys can enjoy as well. But I probably can tell you guys, I probably, without knowing the numbers off the top of my head, I believe that I probably 4 or 5x to my investment in first year commission. So the main thing you guys got to understand is not every single appointment you're going to get if you're doing preset appointments like I did is going to be a laydown. No matter what you do, even if you're scheduling your own appointments, let's say you're cold calling and you're trying to schedule appointments even to go to someone's house, people flake, people don't show up, people aren't home. I probably had, on those days where I'd have 7 or 8 appointments scheduled, I'd probably have 2 or 3 of them that didn't even answer the phone or didn't show up, that no-showed me. It happens. Right? Anytime you have the law of large numbers working for you, it's also working against you to where you're going to have certain amounts of people that just don't show up. Or I had people that just, were so much older that they completely forgot about the appointment and they're like, I never agreed to anything, even though we had them on recording that they did. You're going to get that. It's not like you're going to do this kind of campaign and you're going to turn into an order taker. That's not the case. What it's going to be doing is it's going to cut out the fluff to where you are going to be talking to mostly interested, pre-qualified customers or potential customers that have already agreed to talk to you. That's what this does. It saves your time dramatically from having to make hundreds upon hundreds of phone calls. I've done this, guys. I've done this myself. You're essentially paying someone else to go through kind of the weeds, if you will, to try to find those flowers, right? Those diamonds in the rough, to be able to find them in a course of having hundreds and hundreds of phone calls. I think Glenn told me one time that one of their callers was making 2,000 calls a week. That was during AEP. I don't know what they're doing now, probably more than that. But that's insane, right? You're really paying someone else to do all the dirty work for you to find those qualified, interested an agreeable prospect right off the bat, but at the same time, not every appointment is going to be a laydown. You just have to understand it's setting you up with a much more qualified and interested buyer than if you're just calling leads out of the blue, or if you're essentially cold calling. That's very much going to be more effective than cold calling. Guys, I think this is a great program. That's why I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do a review for you guys. I'm doing it right now. Like I said, I'll look for you. I'm recording this on a Saturday. Right now I have I have 5 appointments already scheduled for me on Monday. I already have 2 more on Tuesday. This past Friday, yesterday, the day before recording this, they scheduled me 4 appointments, but I already had 3 scheduled before that, just from other sources. That I scheduled myself, or my staff scheduled for me. So guys, if you're looking for a way to essentially keep your calendar full and keep yourself busy, this is a great way that you can do it. It can save you time. It can essentially be a situation where if you're willing to kind of go through the tweaks and the processes to get your campaign exactly right, and if you're open to suggestions to what they're doing, it can be very, very viable for your business. I can tell you that it's something that I'm going to be doing regularly, consistently in my business for myself and my agents. And having a Filipino telemarketer through Lead Heroes is fantastic. And it's very cost effective. They do all the work for you. It's very much a plug and play system. They do all the training for you. They make sure that the caller is doing everything that they're supposed to do. They're essentially adhering to that code of conduct and those standards. So that way you don't have to. They do all the work for you. You just plug in. You figure out what you want your campaign to look like, and they do all the work for you. Just make sure that you're open to suggestions. That's the main thing I can encourage you guys. Glenn and his team have forgotten more about telemarketing than someone like me has probably ever known. I think I know a lot about telemarketing, but this is what they do. This is what they do very well. So if they tell me an area is going to be tough for a certain campaign, I'm going to listen. I'm going to be open to suggestion. And that's the main thing I can tell you guys. If you're open to suggestion, they probably have seen your campaign before. They know what's going to work. They have data to back up what they're saying. And as long as you're patient and you're willing to make tweaks and kind of go through some of those growing pains early on, long term, once they get it right, once they really start to hit their stride, it can be a really, really good thing for you guys. Like I said, I'm not being paid at all to make this video. I'm not being incentivized at all to make this video. I'm just coming to you as a customer to do a review video for you and to talk about my experiences with the custom calling campaign. I'm doing one right now. It's helping keep me busy, keeping my pipeline full at all times, and I think this is something that you guys can really get a lot of benefit out of. And if you're interested in looking at Filipino telemarketing services, there is no better one than the Lead Heroes custom calling campaign, in my personal opinion. It's far better than paying per lead. I really do believe that. It's far better than paying per lead, and I think the intent is much higher on a preset appointment than it would be on a lead. They can do other things. They don't have to just do preset appointments. They can just do per lead for you, which I've tried. I personally prefer the preset appointments much more. I like it better than live transfers. And I just wanted to come to you guys and talk to you about my experience with it. It's a huge part of what I do and my marketing today. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this kind of documentation and this explanation of kind of how it's worked for me, how it does work, what it does, do me a favor, drop a comment in the comment section on what your thoughts were. Drop a like on the video so more people like you can find it. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks for watching the video, and hope you have a great rest of 2021. Take care, everybody.